Welcome everyone. How you doing? To another episode of Football with the Fellas. I'm your man Mazo, and over here is
Clay from Brooklyn.
What's
up, y'all?
Yeah, today in this episode, we're going to talk about upcoming Game 2 with the Washington Commanders. It's going to be another NFC East battle, and hopefully, the Giants can come out there and do a little something.
That would be great, Mazo. We are looking at a start to the season that, believe it or not, this is a must-win game for us. It's
game
only
two?
week 2, but
game 2 is must-win.
Right. I mean, not that I have high expectations anyway, but if we happen to not win this week, next week we got Cleveland and then a string of games that, we could easily wind up 0-8 if we're not careful. So a win this week, getting us back on the right path, is something we really, really need to do. So that's what this episode is going to be about, y'all.
Oh, yeah. And you know how we do. I got to do it because this second week, I'm going to start off with Daniel. I got to start off with Daniel. But this is funny. Wait. This is not a negative thing I'm going to say about Daniel Jones.
Okay.
This could really be a bounce back game for Daniel Jones. Did you know that Daniel Jones plays his best football against the Washington team?
Absolutely.
He has their number. I looked it up. He's 6-1-1, I believe, against them.
Something crazy.
He throws the deep ball against them well. He runs against them well. This is his game to save his job, actually.
Absolutely. I was just saying to somebody the other day that, when Daniel Jones took over for Eli, it was week 3. They gave Eli 2 weeks, and then they brought Daniel Jones in. I don't know if Daniel Jones doesn't, get it done this week. Are we going to look at the same situation where Daniel gets replaced week 3? I think that's a little soon. I think that's a little aggressive. But, listen, Daboll might be thinking, I'm not worried about Daniel Jones' job. I'm worried about my job.
Exactly. Because Daniel Jones already got paid. So
well.
So we need
to get me started on that again.
Man? Is that what is the $40 million man?
His average salary is $40 million a year, and that's insane. His cap hit this year is $47 million, which, if I remember correctly, is like top 3 or top 5 in the league. That's crazy.
How?
Don't get me, please.
The thing is, he only does 2 things really well. Well, let me not say
get
that.
Paid.
He does 2 things. Let's put it this way: the 2 things that he does the best that he can do, maybe do it that way, is once he threw the long ball well and run.
Right.
You can't throw it out to at least to our wide receivers.
Yeah, it would be good if he threw them to ours. And honestly, when you say he can run, I think he gets a lot of credit for running when really what he's doing or has been doing is faking the ball to Saquon and then having wide open field. Like, I don't have a whole lot of recollection of Daniel Jones just throwing a little juke on somebody, and leaving them in the dust. He can cut and outrun people sometimes. But I guess my point is, I don't consider him a great runner. I consider him someone who has had the luxury of having number 26 next to him and faking the ball 26. Tommy DeVito ran one in for the Giants last year after faking it 26, because everybody in the stadium, like all 80,000 people in the stadium, were trying to follow Saquon, and he didn't have the ball.
You mean the other 26, right?
The other 26, right? The real 26.
Okay.
So, and listen, we've talked about this a lot. We'll probably talk about it more as the season progresses. Daniel's got to be able to, they put him in the position to sink or swim on his own, right? They got rid of his safety net in Saquon. And so now we just got to see what he can do. Now, the good news is that Washington doesn't look great on defense. Their interior defensive line is stacked, right? Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, very good inside. That's a great pair of defensive tackles. This kid, Johnny Newton, they just drafted, the rookie, has been hurt, so he hasn't actually played yet, but he looks like he's going to be very good. And they have this kid out of Alabama a couple of years ago, for Darian Mathis, who is a solid third defensive tackle. I wish we had him. I wish he was lining up next to Dexter. He's not great. He's not on the level of the other 2, but very solid third interior defensive lineman to give those 2 guys a rest from time to time, or to be the third one on the field.
But I believe in the defensive backfield though that Malik Nabers could take advantage of those guys.
Yeah, I'm not scared of their cornerbacks at all.
Oh, and thank goodness, I don't know if you heard, the, Malik Neighbors wasn't on the injury list. And what we
Yes,
found
on
out
Thursday.
today, the knee's okay. They sat him down and he'll be playing on Sunday. So thank God for
Yes, yes, yes. We definitely need him. And honestly, we need Jalen Hyatt. Now, Darius Slayton is still in the concussion protocol, so I don't know if we're going to have him.
he's not.
Obviously, you hope so.
He's not. They're pretty much saying he's going to be out.
Yeah, I suspect we won't. You hope so, but I suspect we won't have him. So maybe this is the Jalen Hyatt breakout game. Listen, the man can fly, and we just have to take advantage of that and not be afraid to throw the deep ball.
See, there it is. We were talking about this before, and I went back on the tape on that one too. And I can count on one hand the number of times someone did, and as far as their passing scheme, someone ran a long, like a fly or a long post. They don't
Right.
run anything long.
Right. Not even talking about the throws, just about the routes.
Right. There's no long routes. There's no long routes.
Drives me crazy.
That's why nobody's open. They're all standing next to each other.
They're all within that 15 to 20 yards maximum box, and there's 5 or 6 defensive backs there all the time, sometimes 7. How are you going to get open with 3 receivers and 6 defensive backs in a 15-yard window? Not going to happen.
Does Dabo call the plays now?
Yes, and needs to call them differently. He needs to open up the playbook.
We need different plays, not just players, but different plays.
Or he's holding back because of Daniel. That's why I said maybe by week 3 we might see somebody else. If Dabo feels like, you know what, my playbook is 50 pages long, let's say, and I'm only going up to page 12 because that's all Daniel can handle. You over there though, and Tommy, they know all 50 pages and are capable of implementing and executing all 50 pages. How much longer am I going to go with Daniel trying to maximize these 12 or 15 pages? Obviously, I'm just using examples, but it does seem as though Brian Dable, quarterback whisperer, right? I mean, he was Tua's quarterback's coach at Alabama. He was Josh Allen's at Buffalo. Like, he's obviously had success with quarterbacks. Why isn't he having success with Daniel? Maybe it's not Dable's fault.
But there's a talent thing, though. You mentioned 2 guys who actually are kind of better than Daniel Jones. This is year 6. This is year 6.
Year 6.
He's not a
But
rookie.
Again, if he's throwing the ball 40 yards downfield and they're knocking it down or they're getting intercepted, at this point, I'll live with that. But stretch the field, please. Stretch the field.
Right, exactly. Got to use Neighbors. That's why we drafted him, right?
Right. And Hyatt.
And Hyatt.
The good news is that their cornerbacks are not great, right?
No.
Benjamin St-Juste, I think that's how you say his name, doesn't scare me. The other guy whose last name is very long and starts with Ig doesn't scare me. I don't want to mess up his name, so I'll just say that I don't know how to say his name. Emmanuel Forbes is the guy they drafted last year who had all those pick sixes in college and weighs about $150. Is injured, so he's not playing, which actually may be better for them. Like I was looking forward to taking advantage of him.
Oh, okay.
But so I'm not sure if they're any worse off for him not playing, but he's not playing. And their inside linebackers are Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, who are very good, although Wagner's a little long in the tooth, right? I mean, he's been around a while. He looks a little slower to me.
Wagner from Seattle?
From Seattle.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Okay. They signed him away from Seattle. And their safeties, Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin. Quan Martin's second-year player. He's athletic, but again, doesn't scare me. He's not great. Maybe he will be one day, but he's not yet. And Jeremy Chin is a solid kind of money backer type, hard-hitting, strong safety, a little bit like a Landon Collins type.
Okay.
But it's not, scaring me in coverage. I'm not worried about him going 40 yards downfield and breaking up the bombs to Jalen Hyatt. So we should be able to throw the ball is what I'm saying. And their edge rushers don't scare me. Dorrance Armstrong, they signed away from Dallas this year.
Right.
And Cleveland Ferrell. Our offensive tackles are the strength of our pass protection. So they should be able to our tackles should be able to handle those 2.
I really think I really do. I guess I'm being Mr. Optimistic on this one. And I have to, because this is a must game, like you said earlier, for the Giants, at least really for Daniel. I believe he's going to come through this, at least in the first half. I really believe he's going to play well. I think he's going to play well.
I do too. I'm not sure about the first half. I think I mentioned this last episode, but if you look at last year, we had 6 quarters where we scored no points. And this year, our first 4 quarters, we scored 6 points with no touchdowns. In fact, we're the only team in the NFL who didn't reach double digits in week 1, which is not the kind of record you want to set. So if you look at the first 10 quarters, the first 6 last year and the first 4 this year,
right,
we are trailing 88-6. 88-6. We lost 40-0. We were down 20-0 at halftime in week 2 last year against Arizona. Was it Arizona? I forget now who it was. We're down 20-0 at halftime, and we just lost 28-6. That's 88-6. That's crazy.
Well, see, that's part of the problem, though. See, they go, well, if we had to run the game, we can't use it if we get down by so much. And then they know Daniel's going to throw, so they're going to tee off on him, on the lineman. So that means he's going to have less time to throw.
We also can't afford to give up 88 points in 10 quarters on defense.
No, not at all.
Part of that is we shouldn't be down. Even if we only have 6, they shouldn't have 88. So it works all around.
Speaking of which, I had a question for you.
Yes.
Did someone put an APB out for Isaiah Simmons? Because was he supposed to be the
honestly, and Kayvon Thibodeau. And Kayvon actually got in the game. Played a lot.
But where was Isaiah? He didn't. Did he play?
All I can think of is he must have missed a meeting or something like that. Looked like a disciplinary decision that they just don't want to call attention to. Because it's really hard for me to believe, as much as he was playing in the preseason, as much as they were talking about him all season, all spring and summer camp, for him to get no snaps, 0 snaps,
none.
Something must have been decided. Like we're not putting Isaiah in this week. Maybe he said something about somebody's wife or mama or somebody. Like, I don't know what he did. He missed a meeting or something. Somehow he got on somebody's wrong side and they said, all right, you're sitting down this week. And from what I read, he was, none too happy about it. And understandably, you're not supposed to be happy when you don't play.
Right.
And it's especially weird because Micah McFadden didn't play at all because he was injured. So you would think in a game where Micah's not playing, you would get even more snaps. But they went with the young man, the rookie, Muasau, who is hurt now, unfortunately. So now they have to go back to Micah, who thankfully is supposedly healthy. But you would think that Isaiah will be in this week.
See, it all sounds disciplinary. See, that's what's bad. That's terrible.
Now, yeah. The other good news is that Washington's offensive line is not great either. So hopefully we can get some, pressure on the quarterback because our edge rushers didn't get a sniff of Sam Darnold. His jersey probably didn't get washed. It wasn't dirty at all. He got that one sack by Dexter Lawrence in the second play of the game, so maybe it got washed. But after that, it was pretty clean. But yeah, their tackles. They got this rookie Brandon Coleman at left tackle.
Yeah,
he's a rookie. I mean, he's a huge man. He's 6'6", 320. Out of TCU, if I remember correctly. Or was it Texas A&M? One of those two. It might be Texas A&M. Big man.
They all got big people.
I'm not worried about him yet. He's somebody Brian Burns should be able to, baptize by fire and say, okay, he's a rookie.
Please.
I got something for you. And then the right tackle is Andrew Wiley, who was on, he's got 3 rings from Kansas City the last couple of years, but it's not because of him. So they signed him.
Still be there.
And, Kansas City doesn't seem to have missed a beat. Anyway, I'm not worried about their tackles dominating our edge rushers this week. That should not be the case. Minnesota has a great pair of tackles. And that may be why we didn't hear any of our edge rushers' names being called. That shouldn't be the case this time.
Hopefully not. We can't afford it.
We need some pass rush. And obviously Dexter's going to have his way up the middle. Tyler Biadasz, if I think that's how he says his name, who was on Dallas the last few years, now plays for Washington. So he's their center. He looked great in college at Wisconsin as a freshman, but then he got hurt and he has never really been the same. He never lived up to that hype from his freshman year at Wisconsin. So he's not somebody that I think can handle Dexter Lawrence.
But let's look at it happens, what's funny, because with the Washington team, they always have one of their receivers who you don't even know has his big game against the Giants. And the rookie quarterback is good. The rookie quarterback is good, though.
Yeah, he looks, he's talented. We'll see how good he is. He's talented.
But you know what's going to happen. You can feel it.
First of all, he's very mobile, very mobile.
Right.
I think too mobile. I think he's going to get hurt this year because he runs a lot. He seems to, run first, pass second, So
he'll learn.
Not a big man. He's not.
No, he's not big.
Sized. So that's not going to work out well for him. But Scary Terry McLaurin is the guy who always seems to have a big game against us. Yes. He's a really good wide receiver out of Ohio State that, just like Daniel Jones always looks forward to playing in Washington, Terry McLaurin always looks forward to playing the Giants.
He loves us. He loves playing against us.
I'm good for 100 this week. So that makes me a little nervous. And they have Austin Eckler now at running back, who for years was out with the Chargers, doing work. And they decided, much like we decided not to pay Saquon, they decided not to pay him. And now he's on Washington. And he's a 3-down threat. Like, he will catch the ball out of the backfield. He'll run the ball. That's a good running back.
Now, do we have anybody you think can stop him?
I don't know that we have any. Well, Isaiah Simmons is faster than him. But Isaiah Simmons is not really great in pass coverage despite his speed. He doesn't change direction well. So can we put Isaiah on him and at least take away the deep ball? Sure. But is, Isaiah going to be able to cover him on a choice route, where he can stop 5 yards downfield and decide which way to cut? I don't know. And Isaiah Simmons is probably our best coverage linebacker. So we may have to hope that the pass rush gets home before he gets open.
That means Isaiah Simmons must be in the game, though, right?
I would think that on passing downs, you would want Isaiah Simmons in the game because Micah McFadden is not covering Austin Eckler out of the backfield. That's not going to end well for us.
No, that concerns me. This game could go either way. I didn't look at the weather report to see what's going to be like a nice day or it's going to be rainy.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't look at that either.
But is this going to be one? I just see it's going to be an old NFC East game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. It's funny. I wouldn't even be upset with the shootout. That means the defense is not doing anything, but at least the offense is rolling. But I don't want both sides of the ball to be terrible.
Right. I would love to see us drop 28 or 30 on somebody. I won't believe it till I see it, but yes, this is the week, right? This is the team that we would, if we're going to do that to somebody,
this would be the week.
In the month of September or October, it's going to be this week more than likely.
But you know what? It's gonna be a field goal game. You know it. You just know it. You just know it. We get all hyped up, and Daniel Jones will look good on, like, let me see, one drive, and then the drive will get stalled. We'll kick for 3. We'll get 3, and then Daniel Jones will look pretty good. Then he'll get sacked, and then we're punting. And then the next one is, let me start getting on Daniel Jones. It's not all.
Yeah, listen,
it's not all his fault.
It's not all his fault. And like you said, this is a team he usually does well against. So, maybe that will continue. Maybe he'll say, oh, it's Washington. Maybe that's his alarm. Oh, what time is it? Washington time. All right, let's get busy.
Well, we got to if we can, I won't blame him again. If Dable will call, at least, like we were talking about before, have Hyatt streak down the line, the sidelines, have like neighbors maybe do a post, and then have like Robinson slide slant through the middle. There's many ways.
There's no reason for our offense to never send anyone deep. Every series, somebody should be running at least 30 or 40 yards down the field. Every series. I'm not saying every play, but every series, somebody's got to go deep, because if nothing else, you got to make the safeties and the cornerbacks respect the deep ball. You can't complete the intermediate pass if they're not worried about the deep ball.
And that's what, in the last game, Minnesota didn't do. I looked at, I'm telling you, I did my film study on it, and I seen the safety keep creeping up. And you shouldn't see the safety in every shot that you're looking at the game. You shouldn't see him in every shot. And the safety kept creeping up. I'm like, can you see that? Just throw one, just to throw one.
Poor Malik Neighbors.
Somebody long.
First game as a pro, right? Rookie, first game as a pro. And I'm watching the All-22, and I see Malik Neighbors by the second or third drive already jogging on plays that he knew weren't coming to him. He probably was designed to run a go route, and he was like, well, I know they're not throwing it to me, and the defense knows they're not throwing it to me. Why am I going to sprint as fast as I can 40 yards downfield to not get the ball, and for the DB to not even follow me? I mean, I don't know that that's what's happening. Obviously, I wasn't in the team meetings this week, but on a couple of those plays, it looked like he had said, "Hey, the last few plays I ran hard and you didn't even look my way," and the defensive back stopped at the 20-yard line 20 yards downfield because they knew I wasn't getting the ball. Next time they asked me to go deep, I'm just going to go 3/4 speed. That's what it looks like to me, and that's very frustrating.
We can't have that.
You have to have receivers running all out and running downfield and at least taking the cornerback and the safety with you.
Right, exactly. What do you think about our running game this week?
It's hard to run between the guards for sure, maybe between the tackles against that team, because Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen, like I said, they're as good a pair of defensive tackles as anybody has. And Frankie Louvois and Bobby Wagner are as good a pair of inside linebackers as anybody has against the run. So that alone is going to, and Fedarian Mathis, like I said, is the third interior defensive lineman who they bring in sometimes, especially in early downs before it's clear whether you're going to pass or not. And Johnny Newton is the rookie. So if he's healthy enough to get into the game, I like him. I really was hoping we would have drafted him. So that's a lot of people on the interior defensive line that's going to be hard for us to run against. And that's not our strength. Our strength is definitely not our interior offensive line. So to match, not against the run anyway. So to match up, John Runyon and Greg Van Roten against those guys, I don't know how much running we're going to do.
Then let me ask you this then, because I'm trying to clear out the clouds here because it seems so negative. What can we do? What can the Giants do?
We punt well and we have good field goal kicking. So no, I mean, what we can do.
Oh, what do you think we would do? What do you think
I think we should throw the ball. I think we should go into this game saying, I do believe our tackles can control their edge rushers. I don't think Daniel's going to be under constant fire. Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne are very good against the run.
Right.
They get pressure up the middle, but they're not, Dexter Lawrence and Aaron Donald coming up the middle getting sacks.
Right.
I think we can give Daniel Jones enough time, consistently enough, for him to say, you know what, I can throw a 20-yard pass, a 30-yard pass, maybe even a 40-yard pass every now and then. And once that happens, even if it's incomplete, even if it's intercepted, safeties and cornerbacks going to be, turning and running and chasing people up the field. And then the crossing routes open up, then the comebacks open up. So that's what I'm hoping, that we take enough shots early to make the defense, Washington's defense, respect us. We have speedy receivers. Use them.
You're absolutely correct. And then if somebody runs a long one, step off the side, another guy come in. That's it. That's looks works for me.
Bryce Ford Wheaton is a wide receiver on our team. He's like 6'3", 220, runs a 4.38 40. He's the guy who downed that punt. He was one of the three guys downing that punt at the 1 yard line last week. He's on the team because of special teams, but he's a wide receiver and he can fly. So if Darius Slayton isn't going to get in the game, maybe they put him in for a couple of snaps at 6'3", 220 and running a 4.38 and say, listen, just go. Take this safety with you, just go. And if he doesn't go with you, I'll throw it. But just go. Give somebody else a rest. You go.
Right.
And then maybe we can hit Malik on the post. Maybe we can hit, like you said, maybe Theo Johnson, the rookie tight end, can run a seam route because you took the safeties out. So those are the kind of things I'm looking forward to this week.
Now I'm going to the other side of the ball now.
Okay.
And I want to know, let's see, I'm looking at, let me see. We got we got a rookie quarterback on the other side who likes to run a lot. And
their receivers don't scare me.
How are we going to defend him?
Scary Terry McLaurin scares me, but other than that, the rest of their receivers don't really scare me. They got Zach Ertz at tight end, who's 100 years old, used to be on the Eagles. They got Luke McCaffrey.
That's Ertz is playing for them?
Zach Ertz is still playing. He's their starting tight end. Luke McCaffrey, they just drafted this rookie who is Christian McCaffrey's younger brother, but did not get the benefit of the gene pool. Like Christian got most of the skill set. He's probably going to be fine as a slot receiver, but he's not. I don't worry about him.
Just a younger
and really, they just don't have a lot of depth at wide receiver. They had Jahan Dotson. They traded him to the Eagles. Now he's on the Eagles. So I feel like our defensive backs are our weakness, but they're going up against a Washington receiver group that isn't all that good. So maybe that's not going to be exploited this week against us. Especially again with a rookie quarterback who might be under pressure up the middle from Dexter and just take off and run a lot. So maybe we use Isaiah Simmons as a spy. Maybe we just say, Isaiah, you're going to stay here 5 yards downfield in the middle of the field. And if this man runs, it's your job to go get him. Like, I would be fine with that. I'll play 10 on 10. And
I like that.
Isaiah takes away the Jaden Daniels strength.
I like that. I like that.
Because he ran a lot week 1. And if we can, take that aspect of his game away, that's a big loss for them.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Are you talking? Can we call Dable and see if he would listen to what we're saying?
He watches us. I'm sure he watches us.
Because he needs to do something like that. Definitely needs to do that. Oh,
yeah,
man.
because that, like I said, somebody's got to spy him. And Bobby Okereke is a very solid linebacker, but he's not fast. Jaden Daniels can run. I don't know if I feel good about Bobby O being the person that's spying him. We need somebody with a little more speed than that. Dane Belton is also pretty fast. I mean, he's not as fast as Isaiah Simmons, but he's pretty fast. So if it's not going to be Isaiah Simmons, maybe it should be Dane Belton. But somebody should be in the middle of the field saying, if this man takes off and runs, I got him. And the fact that he's there might make Jaden Daniels, give that some thought. Oh, they got a spy on me? Maybe. And he's just as fast, if not faster than me. Maybe I don't want to just pull the ball down and run all the time.
And bigger than me.
And bigger than me. So maybe that causes him to throw the ball more often. And, maybe we get lucky and get some turnovers that way. So, again, this is the game that we're supposed to have the best shot at. Like, these first 2 were supposed to be the games we're going to be 2-0 in. So let's at least be 1-1. If you ask me what I think we are going to win. But then again, I thought we were going to win last week. But I think we are going to win. I think Washington isn't as good as Minnesota is. Minnesota is better than we thought they were. Washington may be worse than we thought they were. And we're not as bad as we looked last week.
I really don't believe we're that bad. I don't think we're as bad as we looked. I'm actually thinking that the Giants will win this game. And I'm looking at, and I say we're going to score too. I'm looking at, this is a crazy score. I'm looking at 24-17 Giants.
Okay. That's not crazy. That's not crazy. We should be able to score 24. That's not a ridiculous number at all. Like, most NFL teams score in the 20s, so 24 is reasonable. I can go with that. I'll go even further and say 28-24. I think we can get. We may even get a defensive and or special teams score against Washington. So I'm going to say we're going to get 28, but I don't know if it's all going to come on offense. But I don't care where it comes from.
No, just as long as it comes, man. Just as long as it comes.
As long as it comes.
It will. It will. Giant fans, it's coming this week.
It's coming.
We're going to do it this week.
Definitely. All right. Well, Meso, listen, I hope people tell us in the comments what they think about what we thought. I hope they hit the like button and the subscribe button. And, we'll come back next week and do a post-game show to talk about what happened. But I think we're both on record as picking the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, we will. And if they win, we're going to be. If they lose, who's going to catch the heat. But
we know.
But Giant fans, like we always say, it's all about Big Blue, right?
All about the blue, yo.
All about the blue. Until next
time, Meso.
Guys. All right, this is Meso saying, see ya. Clay
from Brooklyn. Football with the fellas.
We out. Peace.